Selamat petang and a good day, everyone. And wishing everyone a happy International Women's Day 2021. Foremost, congratulations to Puan Haja Zawiya, the WiLAT's Global Vice Chair for Southeast Asia region, for responding to the need for a webinar in celebrating women in logistics and transport in collaboration with CILTM Malaysia on this auspicious International Women's Day 2021. And our sincere appreciation to our esteemed panelists today in Puan Natasha Zulkifly, Director and Founder of Women in Railways Malaysia, Dr. Ruslina Ahmad, Transport and Logistics Economist, and Madam Judy Chong, Director of Taksan Logistics Group, who had so kindly accepted the invitation to grace the occasions this afternoon. We thank you all very, very much. It is heartening to note that Global WiLAT Southeast Asia region, in organizing this webinar, has been continuously and consistently focusing its effort towards the betterment of women's role in society. In keeping with the theme of International Women's Day 2021, that is Choose to Challenge, it is time again to celebrate women in logistics and transport who have chosen to challenge the system and push themselves up in their careers in a traditionally male-dominated field. It is time to celebrate inspirational women reshaping the industry. It is also time to celebrate the crucial positions of women that women hold in the transport and logistics, showcasing progression, accomplishments, and increasing avenues of opportunity within the industry. That every woman in transport and logistics aim to create role models and reshape perception that transport and logistics is only for men. We have the three wonderful panelists here today who will share their journey to the top and give insights on how they were able to overcome challenges faced, as well as share life lessons for women in the sector. We have achieved much in recent history on the path to gender equality, but we have a long way to go to ensure equal endowments, participation, and voice for women. The stakes are even higher now that the coronavirus pandemic is ravaging the world, as times of great crisis often put women on the front lines at stake. Women predominate in key roles as nurses, social workers, and caregivers. They are also working as doctors and volunteers, as well as political and community leaders, making critical decisions about how to address the public health, social, and economic effects of the crisis. Women's participation will be vital to our success against this shared global threat. Around the world, many national reforms have been enacted in recent years to improve the status of women in the workplace, in marriage, and especially to protect women from violence. Despite this meaningful progress, important gender gaps remain. Notwithstanding the crisis, we would be appeased as to how women may prosper in their career path. And we hope that this will create the ripple effect to other women for motivations coming from the experiences of successful women leaders. This is the whole objective of us bringing these three wonderful people to our forum today, so that Their experiences will be a guiding light in our own career path. Choose to challenge as a topic befits the success of women in logistics in a world predominantly the domain of men. The success of these three women panelists is a story of choosing to challenge the norms. In this context, I would like to quote the famous early 20th century Armenian novelist and activist, Zabel Yesayan. I quote, "A woman is not born into this world to be pleasing. A woman is born to develop her mental, moral, and physical abilities." Unquote. In concluding, let us pay tribute to all those women of steel who had successfully done their part to emplace women's status to a recognized and reputable pedestal. I am certain that how the three panelists achieved their way to the top reflects all the elements that speaks of pains and hardships in overcoming many challenges for the sake of women's entrepreneurship and contribution to nation building. However, before I take my leave, I would like to share a light family banter in respect of how powerful women can be. I had many a times told my partner at home that I'm really busy at the office, so I need her to take care of certain things. She retorted, "You might be the CEO at the office, but at home, I am the boss." Let me end with a short poem. "O women of character, you are my veil of beauty, my pride adorns me like fine jewels. They might be scarce to show, but it decorates like a marvelous gown. You are still the princess, the queen, the pillar of strength. Call you by any names, don't care what people say. The fact remains, you are what makes humanity complete. You are the greatest, the sweetest that God created. Hargai jasa dan pengorbanan wanita." With that, let us enjoy the session with the three panelists. Thank you.
Can I clap? I have to clap for this. That was such
My
a
pleasure.
wonderful opening speech, sir. Thank you so much. It really made us feel really great, don't we, ladies? Yeah, that was a superb speech. Thank you very much, sir. I would like now to invite our Vice Chair for Global WiLAT Southeast Asia region, Haja Zawiya. Ma'am, can you please take the stage, so to speak?
Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and peace be upon all of us. So before I start, because this is a coffee talk, let us have coffee. Okay. Alright. So let us enjoy the coffee first.
That's good. That's good, ma'am.
Okay. So many of you have made such a huge effort to choose to challenge with a busy schedule, with this work, family, and study, and so more to join us today. So on behalf of CILTM Malaysia and WiLAT Southeast Asia and all of us, we are deeply appreciated and offer you most grateful welcome. So, first of all, thank you to Tuan Haji Ramli, CILTM President, and WiLAT Global Chairperson Nadine Kayani, although she's not here, and also our honorable panel speaker today, Puan Natasha Zulkifly, Dr. Ruslina, Madam Judy Chong, and not to forget our superb moderator, as well as all of you for your time. Okay, so let us enjoy this moment. Okay, so today is the day that we begin to learn to look through the eyes of others, find out and experience what the world is like for us. So it is also a day for us to grow bigger, and to see that what is our differences, and also offer everyone regardless of historical right and wrong, a friendly welcome, yeah, and outreach hand. Okay, so today we learn from experience, because experience is the best teacher, and we because we are unable to experience all things, yeah. Okay, so we learn the best. Okay, so today our first coffee talks, we will have very informal sharing, yet it is formal. So in conjunction with International Women's Day, choose to challenge. So as per the World Bank, women in leaderships, achieving the equal futures. Eh? So let me bring to you the knowledge WiLAT in Southeast Asia, as well as WiLAT Global, the knowledge to community, discrimination of gender inequality, enhance our potential, strive better in handling crises, and also helping to lead people through the current global crisis and creating a better future. And WiLAT Trust is leadership, empowerment, mentorship, including the corporate social responsibility. So this is the organization chart of CILT. Many wouldn't know what is CILT. CILT is the Chartered Institute of Logistics and Transport, where WiLAT is the forums of the Chartered Institute of Logistics and Transport. So this is the organization. So next we will look into the four trusts, and the four trusts is the mentorship, the leadership, entrepreneurship, as well as the leadership. So this is what we call the most important thing in the ship, or the ship is the relationship, loving relationship. Yeah. Okay. So with that, a journey of 1,000 miles begin with the first step. So thank you so much, everyone, for being with us today. So this is Southeast Asia. We have a lot to explore. We have 11 countries here, and we would 11 countries with 550 million people. Yeah, so there are many female established organization. So we are here to help positive, to visible, and also very role model for each other woman. That means we are helping. Yeah. Okay. So in Malaysia we have, and then in Singapore. Okay. Then so we will share the vision. The vision is to be the most sought after advocacy, professionalism, empowerment of women in supply chain, logistics, and transport. Yeah. So here we are. We are the women in logistics and transport. Not just empowerment, leadership, mentorship, entrepreneurship, but also corporate social responsibility. Yeah. Okay. So with that, I would like to share our global WiLAT chairperson, Madam Gayani Di Alwis, message to us. Yeah, she's very busy today, officiating so many events. Yeah, in fact, we also tonight we also have launching WiLAT Indonesia. So all of you are also welcome. Okay, thank you, Reshma. Can
All right,
you?
ma'am, can I share it now?
Yeah.
Madam Guyanese, just hold on, yeah? I'll increase the size of my screen. And is everybody able to see this?
Yes.
Okay. Just a second. I'm having a bit of a problem sharing the video. Just give me a sec. It was working just now. Unfortunately, we're having a little bit of a problem to share the video.
Ayubowan. In Sri Lankan language, it means, may you live longer. Good day to all of you. Congratulations, WiLAT Southeast Asia and CILT Malaysia, especially for supporting to organize this commemorative event, which is celebrated for International Women's Day, which is falling today. This year's International Women's Day theme is Choosing to Challenge. Every year when I'm invited to speak or invited to attend commemorative events for the International Women's Day, I always wonder What have we achieved by talking about this discrimination that women face all around the world? But I am always, every year, I talk to myself. I think about this hard, and then I realize if we don't talk about it, the issues that we are every day faced with will not get surfaced, and it will not be discussed, and most will not be aware about the issues. So the conversation really helps us to create awareness about the issues that women are facing. And as per the 2020 Global Gender Gap Report, for the gender parity to happen, it will take 97 years. So it's going to be a long way. But nevertheless, we should not lose heart.
Oops. I think Madam Gayani's speech, unfortunately, got stuck a little bit there. That was half the way, but general message is don't lose heart. The fight is a hard fight. We have to continue moving along and we don't lose heart. And now to learn now about our three wonderful ladies who have joined our panel. So let me just give you an idea of how this is going to work. This is going to be a very informal session. So we would like all our audiences who have joined us today, thank you very much. You can post in any questions that you wish to ask these fine three ladies in the Q&A box. In the meantime, it's going to be more like an interview session. So we're going to ask them each three questions and they're going to take us through in their journey. So we'll start, the lineup is we'll start with Madam Natasha Zulkifly. Madam Natasha Zulkifly, just to give you a little bit of an insight about her, she is the founder as well as the director of Women in Rail. She is in the YTL group in a very senior position there. She has been a champion in terms of empowering women, specifically women in our industry and overall. With her, we have Dr. Ruslina Ahmad. Now, Dr. Ruslina Ahmad, interesting, even I want to ask her these questions, so we can ask her together. She's got a PhD in logistics and transport economy in game theory. So it's really interesting. I want to know a little bit more. I want to know, how did she get there? How did she go? How did she actually choose this and move up in this role? And what does it mean? And give us a little bit more insight. And our third speaker, this lady is very close to my heart. She's my mentor. She's been with me for, I don't know, more than 20 years. We've known each other. Madam Judy Chong. I used to work with her, and she will share with us because she empowers women within her organization. So she'll explain to you in Taksan Logistics itself what they do. I am an example of it. So, she'll give you some insights there as well. So to get the conversation started, I prepared a couple of questions for our wonderful ladies. So we'll start with you, Natasha. Welcome in, Natasha. Why don't you give us a little bit of a quick background on yourself so the rest of the audience also knows about it. Oh, you need to unmute.
Okay, good afternoon. Assalamualaikum, everybody. It's an honor to be here. Thank you to Reshma, to Haja Zawiya, and also to Haji Ramli for your kind words and introductions just now. My background is actually, I come from the law space. I have a legal degree from the London School of Economics. And I started my work in the workspace actually working with my father. And then I did something really strange. I had children and I left the workforce for 7 years. I decided to become a full-time housewife, and because we didn't want to outsource the raising of our kids to a third party. And then there was sort of itchiness within me wanting to come back to work. And one day my husband comes back from, I just wanted to get back to work. And eventually, somehow or other, I landed up in the transport space. I've worked for SPAD, the now defunct SPAD. I've worked for Prasarana. Now I work in YTL Construction. We're building a rail line from Gemas to Johor Bahru, 200 kilometers long. And I'm also the founder of an organization called Women in Rail Malaysia, which I'd like to share a bit more about as we proceed this afternoon.
Thank you very much, Natasha. So Natasha, can you give us, like, can we get the first question out to you and ask you, how was your journey? How has it been? I mean, you took a 7-year break. Was it a challenge getting back, and how did you overcome that?
I don't think it was a challenge. I was well and ready to get back to work, but it was really, see, my journey has a lot to do with timing, with divine intervention, with extreme utmost blessings. So when I was ready to go back to work, my son was in kindy, my daughter was in primary 1. I worked for a not-for-profit, which allowed me to work from home when the kids were at home. It was really interesting, okay? They would be in school, and then they would come home, and then we would play, and then we would have dinner at 5. Monday at 6.
Wow, that's early.
Story time at 6:30, bedtime at 7.
Wow.
And then, yeah, they were in bed, lights out by 7. And they would sleep through the night, of course. And then I would have my shower. I would spend a bit of time with my husband for an hour or 2. He would have his meal. We would talk together. And then I'd open up my laptop and get back to work. So when they're in school, I'm working. When they're home, I'm with them. So it sort of evolved in such a way where it worked really well. When I joined the SPAD, the kids were a bit older, and there was one day I was rushing home at 5:30, and one of the junior girls pulls me aside. She says, "I want to ask you, do you rush home every day to cook?" And I laughed. I said, "Heck no, I don't cook. My helper cooks, but I'm rushing home so that I don't miss story time, because that was really important to me. Just before bed, you know, reading that story time." So I've worked really hard to balance that motherhood and workspace. Well, I really believe in work-life balance. I've always had bosses who allowed me to take my father to the doctor if there's a doctor's appointment, you know, to take time off for that. And I really could not be here without a supportive partner, my husband, the kids who understand. I have trained my daughter ever since I started work to be my little special officer in the house. So I call her, I say, okay, this needs to get done. Can you? And I WhatsApp her, you know, and she follows up, she follows through. She's left for college now. She's gone off to do her A-levels. And then she says, "You're going to miss me more than I'm going to miss you." So all these guiding forces that sort of come together to help make a difference in your life.
Thank you. Thank you. Wow. It sounds very familiar to many of us. Sounds very familiar for all us women who are working moms. What about you, Dr. Ruslina? So Dr. Ruslina, please tell us, what is this game theory? Tell us a little bit about yourself, please.
Okay, game theory. Actually, I got the logistic grant from Logistic Council Malaysia. So, game theory is absolutely actually for men. Normally, if you go to game theory society meeting in Europe or in Asia, most of them, if 100 participants, is only less than 10 women there because it's more technical. If you see that a beautiful mind, one of the story beautiful mind, that is the game theory. So game theory, the game theory basically can be used for economy, biology, strategy war. So actually we are a strategic people. So normally we think differently compare about the whole economic system, you know. So that's why because I'm do PhD more on like economy. So when you do game theory, so this is one of the tools, very powerful tools that you
used.
Yes.
So were you the only woman in that group? Like, were you, did you feel like the only person, the minority in the group?
Yeah, normally I minority and a Muslim, normally not much Muslim women doing game theory.
Oh, so you were double minority. Awesome. Wow.
Yes, and it's very challenging. It's because it's very mathematical, highly mathematical, and very highly technical. But I think because I got a grant from the government, I think it's an honor. I have to finish my study. I have to leave my family, you know, I have traveled around the world. I don't know where my kids either. So because I think it's something that because you use people money, it's a taxation money.
Yeah, yeah.
So then I gave actually I worked with Malaysia for 22 years. So I left Malaysia Airport after 1 year. I did my postdoc. So I also applied game theory in airports economics. So I think I want to venture more. I'm looking for not just airport economics, rail, meaning that land transport and sea transport.
Oh,
So
wow. So
because
we
it's
have
become bigger,
Natasha
yeah.
in the room, so you can start chatting with her after this.
Because the airport is too small for me. And then after 1 year doing research like rates, and then I also did the airport clusterization. So I use game theory. One of the example you see that ASEA we bring to the court for the PAC. So I'm using section 46 Act 771 because we also good in law. So this is how we do the checkmates for certain of organization. So, but sometimes when you finish up your study, you are eager to apply, and I think that is not good for me to be in an organization. So I have to do something else. So now I'm a senior trainer for most of I think industrial and bigger client like Bank Negara Indonesia, like Indonesia corporations, industry corporations, like finance, Minister of Finance Brunei. So these are all learning from me on how to improve their organization.
Excellent. Wow. That's an amazing feat, Doctor. So now I'm posing this question to Judy. I know Judy, and I'll tell you when she was my boss. She used to be my boss. And the first time when I met you, right, Judy, you were running the trucking division. Remember the tanker division? Why don't you give everybody a little bit of an insight of yourself too?
Hello, happy International Days to all the marvelous women who's listening in. And I was actually very busy today because we were celebrating our Women's Day in the office, and I gave them cupcakes.
Yum.
And also, one of my girls gave me the cheese tart. So it has been a lot of happening in Taksan Logistics, and we do celebrate women empowerment since I was tasked to head the HR division from I think in the mid 90s. Because this company is 67 years old. It is when I joined in the late 80s. It is very Chinese traditionally run. So I managed to change the whole system. The change management comes in with the HR policies and then the ISO management. And in spite of all this, I'm also a mother of 3 boys. And my youngest boy, Eugene, is a special need child. He's dyslexic. So in spite of all these challenges whereby I have to juggle my 3 boys as well as the company, which was growing in leaps and bounds, I managed to do as much as I can, learn along the way, and also coach and empower our women. It's so much so that in Taksan Logistics, I have trained and coached and developed at least 10 women managers, and I'm still grooming them. And most of the time, these women are in the logistics, especially in the forwarding industry or the freighting industry. Most of them are from rank and file. They are either SPM dropout. Very few of them have degrees, and I have helped to develop them to go for universities, to do part-time, or to learn on the spot through the customs course or the specialist course. And I must say Reshma is one of them. I've always encouraged them to go as far as they can so that they can be and help the other woman along the way. So this has been my journey, and I'm still supporting a lot of CSR. I'm also a Rotarian and the chairman of the District Action Group on Autism. That's where we will empower more women to believe in themselves and to manage and have a family balanced, well-balanced life. Yeah.
Thank you
So
very
this has
much,
been
Judy.
very, very interesting to me. Yeah.
Yeah, I can attest for that because I have an autistic son and she does a lot for our community, lots and lots and lots for them. So I'd like to understand from all 3 of you. So you're telling all 3 of you, I understand from Dr. Ruslina. Dr. Ruslina, you said yes, your field has been challenging. It has been a very male dominated field, not only have you been the minority in terms of gender, but also in terms of ethnicity, religious background? But what about you, Judy and Natasha? Have you had any situations where you have had to deal with either gender discrimination or any forms of, basically gender discrimination towards us?
Yes, I think there are, especially in the trucking industry, because when you go to a haulier meeting or a trucking meeting, it's all men, and they're quite different. But I managed to go through because of the how we have to understand the things at stake rather than to look at the small things. We look at the bigger picture, how we can move and solve the problem, because logistic every day there is a problems with the ports, with the depot,
True.
and we have to take the statistic. To me, I've already also shared my knowledge with on statistic, because in our university we have to do a lot of statistics, study about statistics. With the statistic, then you can deliver your message and the
Give
issue.
data, yeah. They
Yes,
say men are more data driven, so
yes.
convince. What about you, Natasha? How has your experiences been so far?
Actually, I've never felt discriminated against because of my gender. Whether it's because I've never wanted to look at that, but I do know I have been so used to being one of only one or maybe two women at the table in meetings, in senior meetings, that when there's actually more than two women at the table, then I'm like, wow, there's a lot of women here today. And then I start counting. Because that's such, it rarely happens. I must say though, I've been very lucky with people opening the door for me and allowing me to move up, through my corporate path. There have been once or twice where there were people who were blocking me for different reasons. I wouldn't say it's because of my gender, but I always managed to sidestep and move up. I've never looked at my gender as being an excuse for not progressing. If you bring value to the table, if you're smart, if you've done your work, if you are prepared for whatever tasks you're assigned, you can't be ignored. I read about all sorts of literature on how women are ignored at meetings, how the way they say things is different to men. I'm reading a book on this at the moment. And I realized, there are a lot of women like that, but for good or bad, I think I'm a bit different. And I don't know whether I speak like that, but I have been able to survive in a very male-dominated space. Now I work for YTL Construction. Do you know how difficult it is to work in a Chinaman company, family-owned? I work with people who have been in the company for more than 40 years. Seriously, they have worked with Tan Sri Yeo Tiong Lei himself, and they're still there. I've come from Prasarana, SPAD, mostly men, a lot of women, but mostly men. Still very tough environment, the culture, everything. But anyway, it just sort of made it, my path was sort of smooth. I like to think it as smooth. Yeah.
Excellent. So you're going to share some life lessons with us in a little bit, all right, where you're going to help most of our ladies, because I do believe there's a fair number of them who still feel, maybe it's because of conditioning. Sometimes it's societal conditioning where we're brought up thinking that, we're lesser than men. So that kind of thing sits in your subconscious mind and always brings you back or pulls you back from moving ahead. So
I couldn't agree more. I just want to cut you off there. I couldn't agree more. I think we are who we are, but for all you ladies out there, you have a chance to change the narrative for your children, for your daughters. And that is what the gift that my father gave me, that to be who I am today. And while, of course, we are deeply flawed, but what we can do is to help our daughters. So we can talk a bit more about that later.
Yes, the future, exactly. And our sons too. We need to educate our boys, especially in certain ethnic groups. We have got other inherent issues when it comes to gender. So it's things that we also need to teach our young boys as well. You spoke about working from home. You spoke about like when you started out, you started with a NGO that allowed you some flexibility. So this question is actually for all three of you. And I believe all three of you are well aware that during this pandemic, mostly women have been losing their jobs. But also at the same time, due to this pandemic, we've seen work environments changed. A lot of us are working from home. How do we balance this? How do we address an issue on one hand where we have our sisters losing jobs, and on the other hand, there is this ability to facilitate? Do you think that Malaysia is going to go back to the traditional, meaning that the working from home component that we're enjoying right now, that technically has empowered a lot of women, is that going to be still there, or are we going to change our work? Do you see some changes in the work models coming up in the near future? Maybe I start with Dr. Ruslina, because you've been quiet, so I'm going to make you add in.
Yeah, I think that actually what I did is that I also work from home, and then I work with government, especially for the workshop lah. So I think work from home is quite stressful. I rather go to office, and I enjoy more to meet people around me compare being alone. For timing, like I also have teaching for all the industrial people. Next few weeks I have a teaching for. From oil and gas, I have 20 participants from oil and
Wow.
gas, of more on a taxation, international global taxations. So I think that I go to the office. It's better for me to conduct from office rather than I see in my place here. Even I do invest a lot for the IT system whatsoever, but I think it's a time to go out. This time we call it's like pandemic economy. Some of my paper I wrote for the SPV 2030 in how that we would try to see in the global aspect. For example, that people from T20 go to M40 to B40. So we are falling apart. So many people lost jobs, and even now they withdraw the KWSP. We call that negative function, in which that the money is supposed to be saving, and then how that KWSP has managed people money. For example, why they don't go for insured the people money. So this is all the things that I raised to go to EPU, how to help people ensure that when they retirement times, they have enough money, and also they have enough hospitality things, because when you getting old, you get lots of so many critical things you had. So you're like diabetes or whatsoever. So this is the thing that I wrote for. Not even that, I also look into the human security, education security, so a bigger perspective. If you look at my policy, I'm a policy brief. So I did that not for women in transport and logistics, but also for the sustainability, climate change, green economy, so everything. So how that people move? If you are sustainability, you at the middle. If you don't do that for that emission, and you do a global all everything emission whatsoever, you go to the climate change economy. If you do a sustainability, you go to green economy. So how this is how I share my knowledge to the people, and how we going to move this. Is it sustainability, environment, sustainability on living, sustainability everything, to either you negative or you become positive. So this is how that I'm looking at. Being an NGO, I also being advised like doing a green logistic policy outline. So I think it's a very critical, and especially now I'm looking for education security. It because I think most people like in a remote, they don't have facilities like internet whatsoever. So the timing for the loss of education is quite high. So this is so worried about. So that we have to think how to ensure that everybody not just go to the school, but how to catch up 1 year loss
Of
in
lost
education.
education, yeah.
Yes, so this is how
These
I'm
are some
looking
of
at
the
it.
things you're touching on.
Yes.
Excellent. Judy, so do you see more of your girls still working from home, or are they going to come, or are they going to come back to the office? Do you see the same trend stretching on in the future, or do your staff also prefer, your employees prefer coming back to office because there's a lot of disturbances at home?
Yeah, because we are essential services, so all my girls have to come back to work, and I don't think we are going back to the old days where the woman have to be at home. But I think the two income earning is very important for the financial support of the family. So I don't think women is going backward, but moving forward.
We're moving forward, yeah.
Yes,
And we're
definitely.
being more empowered with technology. Natasha,
Education and technology, yes. That's right.
exactly.
Yeah.
Natasha, can you share with us, how does YTL handle this? Because like more of the women, are they mostly in the management roles, or do you have a lot of women civil engineers as well? How does it work there? What's the content like, male, female?
There is the female director, the commercial director is female, the technical director also female. Quite a few senior women. They're very gender friendly, gender positive, I'd say. And there are every designation there are women. It's really heartening. They have been so supportive of my Women in Rail initiative. And in terms of how we're managing with COVID, we do a team A, team B rotation sort of thing, but primarily it is up to every head of department to decide how they want to run things to ensure the utmost productivity. So they provide that flexibility to us. I'd like to say that it's been a challenge, but I do believe some people are more suited to working amongst other people, like Dr. Ruslina more social creatures, you know. She was saying how she likes to be in the office. For me, I like to work from home. Having said that, I do make a lot of trips to Johor, and it started up again. So I think what's most important is that you know what you have to do and you just execute it when it needs to be done. That's quite straightforward for me.
And of course, there is a progression in terms of how women are moving up in their career pathways, right? You see that in as you said, in every level of the organization, there are women there, women in their roles. So we have not got any questions in the Q&A box, but that doesn't matter. I seem to have tons of questions to ask all three of you. So let's talk about some moving ahead lessons. What can we tell our girls? What can we advise them? Some, millennials, I don't know about you. I have a 17-year-old and, like millennials, they're always on their devices. There was Snapchat and TikTok and all these other platforms. And I also feel that a lot of them are being pressured to look a certain way, behave a certain way. What advice should we give these girls?
Actually, Women in Rail has done talks in Johor quite a bit. We've spoken to 3,000 school kids in 2019 and a bit of 2020. So 3,000 school kids, primary school kids and secondary school kids. And we talk about safety near the construction site, but we also do a lot of leadership talks. And what I always tell these young kids is, for the girls especially, to find a partner that will support them in their journey. I think it's really important for their self-esteem when they're exploring the nuances of romance, to find a boy which they don't feel they need to make themselves smaller in order to succeed in that relationship. I think if you don't have that confidence and if you don't have a partner who boosts you, you will never make it. And for me, I've always had a father who gave me a huge shove and says, go off and do it. And even when I doubted myself, he never doubted me. And similarly, I've found a husband who does the same thing. When I was negotiating, with YTL Construction for salary, he said, oh, should I ask for this amount? And he says, what the heck are you talking about? Can you please round it up to the next, like, berpuluh ribu? And I said, wow, really? You think I'm worth it? Of course you're worth it. Go and ask for it. So he gives me that huge shove. And I've learned, belum cuba, belum tahu. You don't ask, you won't get.
Very
But
true.
why does someone like me doubt myself? Why do other people not doubt me? So it goes back to the girls. When you say how to manage all these young people, it's about telling the girls to not diminish themselves, to be able to believe that they can do it, to know that why can't you do it? What is really stopping you? And for us, you really said it right, Rashma. I have a 15-year-old boy. And I would say about 3 years ago, we had this bust up, this fight, me and my son. We were going through a doorway. He was 12, 13, you know, and it's small. And we both arrived at the door at the same time. And I looked at him and I thought, okay, what are you going to do? Because here in my brain, I'm thinking ladies first, you know, good manners, you give way to your elders. And he looks at me and he goes, what? And I said, hello, ladies first. And he goes, why? You ask for equal rights all the time. I was here first. Why should I let you go first? And I looked at him and I thought, my God, this boy.
Yes.
I've raised him so well, but he's so rude to me right now.
Oh, no, you've done a great job.
Because he really believed. And he said, equal rights, what? Why should I let you go first?
Exactly.
And I said, it's good manners. And then we talked about it at the dinner table. And my husband said, have you heard of the word chivalry? You know, but he just really believes it's an equal world. And he actually comes home some days, you know, I'm talking about my friends, my this, my that. And he asks me, Mommy, why doesn't Auntie so-and-so work? He finds it strange when women are not working. He just thinks it's strange. He just really believes in equality for all. And I think that's what we need to tell the kids, to really believe in themselves and to not inhibit growth. And if there's a better female for the job, give the girl the job, I tell my son. So he knows about my journey, you know, that we talk about that all the time at home.
Yeah, it sounds pretty familiar. Then again, same kind of debates we have at home. We call them little discussion sessions at home, where even when you talk about, well, I'm older than you. Oh, so you mean you're going to have a biases over age? So these people are no gender biases, no ethnic biases, nothing. Extremely politically correct generation we have coming up. So what about you, Judy? What can you share? Because we like have 10 minutes more to the end of our session. So I'd like you ladies to give your life lessons. What can you advise our young girls for the future ahead?
Yeah, for the young girls, I think it's very important in education and the environment that you are in, you know, and the support group from your parents, from your friends, from your teachers. All this will make you who you are, and positive, be more positive, be brave, and be bold. If not, and also like Natasha said, you have to speak up. If you don't speak up, nobody will know and be able to read your mind. So the more sharing of your stories and your life journey, the more people will come aboard and believe in the journey of success. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Judy. Dr. Ruslina,
Yes.
what is your word of advice, dear doctor?
I think that for all women, because I've been in industry for 22 years, the first thing that I start with the Formula One circuit. So this is all a manual. So I the first woman who did the homologation with Charlie Whiting. So I don't see any bias for that. So I think everything is equality. So even in aviation sector, so I also get a lot of thing from the experience. So I haven't seen that. The only my worry is that there is like 60% women in university, only a few is working. Most of them is not working. So so this is the thing that sometimes in balance in what we have. So for time being is that we have like 300,000 people like student and then graduate is not working. So this is how that we are looking at to resolve the problems what we have in Malaysia. Malaysia women mostly the housewife is almost educated. So we're not afraid of that because all their children is educated. And everybody, you know, you can see is absolutely different compared to other countries. So I see that Malaysia is I think that we are blessed because here
I agree.
we don't have any jeopardize about anything. We are equal, a man or your choice. You want to be your house, you want to be a part-time, you want to be
Yeah.
that is what you want to do. So the only
That
thing,
liberty is there.
yes.
Exactly.
So the thing is, you want to learn or you don't want to learn or you want to do whatever you want is your future. So I taught my children, what do you want to become? So if you want to become this, is what you have to do. Or if you want to do this, what you have to do. You can choose, because I'm not the person to customize what you want to do. So this is
Okay.
how, yeah. So this is
So
how.
open your mind, broaden your perspective.
Yes,
Whatever it is you want to do, the
yes,
world is your oyster
yes. You
generally.
just guide them what they should do in your future.
Excellent. Thank you very much. So I can see some messages that we pretty much, if I could summarize this little interview that we've had with you, three wonderful ladies. One is, ladies, all of us, as Natasha says, it begins with us. So we moms have to inculcate certain things, certain beliefs. We have to bring our children, our girls and our boys up to understand that there is no gender difference, that it really has nothing to do with gender. It has got to do with whether you have it, you have the ability, you have the interest, and
Yes,
you want to do something and you're passionate about it, go all the way out for it.
yes, exactly.
Not to be quiet, don't keep things and don't assume people know what you're doing. We have to make a noise. The fact that we're doing it right now, sharing our experiences, we have to do that. And for young girls out there, I liked what you said. Again, I'm going to resonate what you have said, Natasha. All right, what you said about young girls when you get into your romantic forays, that's very important. Look for a partner who would respect you, who would treat you the way you should be treated. Don't make yourself feel small in front of this person. So that's a really very important lesson, because yes, even for me, my dad, it's our dads, it's our husbands, our brothers, and all the men in our lives that champion us, that help us, that push us and give us the ability to do, empower us to do whatever it is that we want. So ladies, thank you very much. But before I close, I must ask Hajazawia to come in and to give us her little bit insights before we close. And also after Hajazawia, I will be making a move out of here. It's going to be Hajazawia who will close, and immediately after her, Haji Ramli, as a man, give us your closing message. Okay, sir? Is that fine? All right, Hajazawia?
Okay, thank you so much, Reshma. So life is just like a coffee. Yeah, it's bitter. Without you put a proper portion of sugar, then it will be nice to drink. Yeah. Okay.
Not
So
too much that you get diabetes, right, ma'am?
must be the proper portion of sugar. Yeah. Okay. So this is what life all about. So thank you so much for the amazing stories. Yeah. I could say it is experience, which is hundreds journey. Not before this they said experience. Oh, how many years of experience? So this is not years of experience, but this is the miles of journey. Yeah. Okay. So we are very fortunate. We have three very influential ladies in their own fields. Yeah. Thank you so much. I do learn a lot. So today we understand that we have to believe in ourselves. Yeah. Okay. And also we have to speak up. Yeah, so I learning to speak. Yeah, more moderate. Yeah, and then this is a platform. This WiLAT Southeast Asia will be a platform for all. Yeah, we welcome all of you. Okay, and then we will discuss. This tea talk will continue. Yeah, I hope you will have more stories, life journey that we want to share. Yeah, and then also not only for CILT, WiLAT, but also for other women
Yeah,
associations.
maybe the next one we will do with women in real, if you don't mind, Natasha. So we get, yeah. So
Yes,
we'll do that for the next.
yeah,
Yeah.
yes. So I believe this is sharing is very important, and this is the first coffee talks. So it is very interesting, and then I get very excited. Okay, let us continue. This is not the end, but this is endless love. Okay, so
So,
so
ma'am, do I take a signal from you? Does that mean that this
yes,
shouldn't just be an IWD event? This should be like a monthly event?
yes.
Yeah. All right.
With
All right.
support from our CLT president here.
Yes, president is right there. We'll see.
Here, yeah.
Thank you
Mm,
very much.
mm.
I have a very brief statement to make. It's just that uh, who are we without women around us? They make our life meaningful. They are making our life beautiful. The family is all about women. In my home, it's it's the boss that does the. I give her a free hand, right? And Alhamdulillah, I have 5 children, right? And the first three of them, the first two, my twin boys, are doing very, very well on their own. And the daughter is also on her own, doing event management, doing cupcakes, doing this, doing that. It's all because the wife is more the stricter person than I am, right? With that, ladies, I really support the comment made by Hajah Zawiya that it is a shame if we do not carry this into a more in-depth discussion on how women really gets into the thick of things in the working world, right? I think today we have only touched the surface, right? It will be very. I was yearning. I was looking for that the mechanics that make things work, why women are so. And I can tell you, um, we are running a stevedoring company, a small company, 9 staff, 8 all are women. Right?
Mm.
Yeah. So thank you very much. I hope we enjoyed the session this afternoon. So we hope to see you all again. Thank you again for coming.
Yeah. So can we have Zoom photo session?
Yeah,
Okay.
can we raise our hand? Okay,
Yeah.
choose to challenge. Just raise
Yes.
your hand.
So,
Doctor, can I see it closer?
yeah.
Yeah, higher
So
up your hand.
happy Women's Day.
Okay, wait. If I'm going to raise my hand, how am I going to do the print screen? Hold on.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, wait. Hand holding. Then I have to put the hand up and down and quickly do this. Oops.
Okay.
Okay, ladies, I
Okay.
tried. I
So
got to
thank
put
you.
both my hands up because I can't do one hand.
Okay, so thank you to our audience. Yeah. Thank you.
Yes,
Did
thank
you
you
take
very
the
much.
picture?
Yes, but I'm going to take one more picture from my phone to make it safe. Yeah, one more picture, ladies and gent. Put your hand up. All right. Excellent. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
So
much.
Thank you,
very
everybody.
much.
Thank you for the
Thanks for making it
invitation.
an
Thank
excellent
you.
session. We
Thank
will
you.
dig deeper, sir. It's the attention to detail, if I may say so. That's why we are
Yep.
good.
So,
That
so
is Judy, quote unquote Judy.
Yeah. So we will meet again, inshallah, for
All
our
right, take care.
second coffee talk.
All right.
thank you.
And
Thank you,
also,
ladies.
Thank you. Thank you.
and
Bye,
also
Ko.
the cake.